I went shopping at Home Depot and found 4 absolutely incredible woodworking jigs that I did not know they had, including this mystery jig that we're going to see in just a few minutes. You're going to be shocked by these. I was. Let's go. Before we get started, if you'd like to check out any of these tools that I show today, I'm going to link those in the description, the pinned comment, the View Products button, and of course you can scan with your phone that QR code. Takes you right to my website, especially if you're watching on TV. Now, let me show you what I found. First up, one of the better miter gauges that you can buy right now. This thing is packed with features, including a fence, stop block, and a lot more. Let's unbox it. Straight out of the box, it's pretty straightforward. It's not a whole lot of setup here. It's only going to take you a couple of minutes to go from out of the box ready to cut, which is really nice. This is the PowerTec brand as well. First thing you're going to do is install the handle. Very easy. It just has one washer and then it goes into a threaded hole. Very, very simple. Next thing you want to do is check it for square. Just use any square that you trust. When I checked this one, it was ever so slightly out of square. We're talking very, very little, but I can see a little bit of daylight, so I do want to make sure it's absolutely true before I start using it. All you do is loosen these 4 bolts off that are on top here, and then you can adjust it any way you need. Once you have it dialed in, tighten those back up, you're ready to cut. But first, I want to install the fence. This is very easy. It has 2 thumb screws on the back, and it goes into this T-track on this extruded aluminum fence. Now this fence is quite beefy feeling. It's not overly heavy, it just feels really nice and substantial. Again, you've got multiple grooves here, so you can do attachments and things like that using regular T-bolts. It does include a stop block, which I do like, and this is a flip-up stop block, so it will flip up out of the way when you're not in use. Also has a printed scale on the top from 0 all the way to 24 inches. Not sure how accurate that'll be, because to be exactly at 0, you would have to put this right against the blade, and that's not what you want to do. You want it to be off of the blade a little bit. It does have 2 holes, one on each end, so you can attach a faux fence if you wanted to have 0 clearance fence that sticks a little past this actual aluminum fence should you choose to do that. Before you make any cuts, you need to adjust it for your miter slot. Now this will fit most any standard miter slots on table saws, at least modern table saws, so you shouldn't have any issues there. When you put it in the miter slot, you will notice that it may have a little bit of play in there, but that's what these 4 screws are for. And they have these little black washers around them, and it also comes with 4 spare washers should you need those if you over tighten or mess these up for whatever reason, or just over time they get wore down. There was a tiny bit of play in mine, and so I was able to tighten all 4, not even an 1/8 turn, just a little bit, and it snugged it right up. You still want it to glide really smoothly in your miter slot, but at the same time not have any play. One thing that this has that not a lot of miter gauges have is a rear adjustment right there behind the actual gauge that you can see where the miters are. There's one right there on the back, and that's where mine needed the adjustment the most, so just a little bit over an 1/8 turn, snugged it right up, and it glides very smooth. Once that's done, it's dialed in, ready to cut, and let's see if it does a good job. First cut, we're going to do a 90-degree cut. This should come out 90 degrees. I set it earlier with my square. This should work. Now I'm just going to cut a piece of walnut here. Perfect 90 degrees, checking it with 2 different squares. Looking at the eye gauging bench square, perfectly square. You can see that right there, but I do want to show you with the woodpeckers on the outer edges of this square so you can see that there's absolutely no light in there. This is dead accurate. Next thing I want to try, 45 degrees. If we can get a 90 and a 45, we can do anything else. Right now, set this to 45 degrees, and one thing I do like about this style miter gauge, the Win is like this, the Incra is like this. It has a tooth that seats right into the exact angle that you're going to need, and these are the most common angles. And if you don't want to use that gear, or if you have an angle somewhere in between those gears, you can just tighten down the handle and it will set that angle. But the gear is what I really like, because I can set it at 0 or 45 or 60 or anywhere in between in those increments, and it lets me know without a doubt that I am seated exactly where it needs to be. Once that's in there, tighten everything up and we're ready to cut. Cut to 45 degrees, went through smoothly. One thing I note about this miter gauge is it's just gliding butter smooth, even with this nice fence on there. So I cut this 45 degree, and as you can see, checking it with the eye gauging square, dead accurate at 45 degrees. But I did want to use a separate reference just so we have 2. 45 degrees using the woodpeckers combination square, as you can see, perfectly 45 degrees. This thing is dead accurate. For the price this comes in, right around $100 at the time of this filming, this thing is incredible, but that's not all that it can do. If you need to make repeatable cuts, that's where the stop block comes in, which is really great because a lot of times you do need to make repeatable cuts. So if I'm doing these 2 tapered legs, I want them both cut exactly the same. I set the stop block, I make the cuts. And as you see, after both are cut, they're absolutely identical. There's no deflection here in this once this is snugged up. There's only one minor complaint that I have about this entire setup, and it's not the price. I think the price is absolutely incredible for what you're getting here. I wish the thumb screws on the back were just a little bit maybe bigger around to get a little bit more grip. Not that you don't have enough here. I just feel like I would like to have that a little more. It's a minor quip. It's probably a personal preference. I would just like to see that. Maybe the same size as the one on the top, but I do understand why they had to keep them a little bit smaller, because the knob would bottom out on the gauge itself and it wouldn't be able to fully seat the fence down where it needs to go onto the tabletop. Overall, I think this is an incredible jig. I think it will probably sell out because of the price and the features you're getting here, and mostly because it's dead accurate. Next, one of my most used accessories that I've ever used in the shop are these style setup bars. Now what these are for is setting up your tools to get dead accurate results, and these are no exception. Now Craig makes a version of this that I've had for years that is over double the price of these, which is quite significant because these come in at right at $40. Craig's runs between $80 and $90 depending on the sale. But these are almost identical. First off, they come in a nice little carrying case, so you don't have to worry about keeping up with them or losing them, so you put them back where they go, which is very important. These go from 1/8 all the way up to 1/2 inch. You can use these in a variety of ways. First, you set blade heights using this centered notch right here. This will allow you to set it over the blade, raise the blade up and down until you get the perfect height. For instance, right here, 1/2 inch. Or you can use the little nub on the end to set blade distances away from your fence. You could use this on the bandsaw, the table saw, places like that. That's where that's very useful. You could also use these to set the bit height of your router bits. For instance, if I needed this dovetail bit to be exactly, I mean precisely 3/8 of an inch deep, I can use this 3/8 inch setup bar to dial in the perfect depth. I use these all the time for this instance. They also have this little nub on top, and that's for checking the depth of holes or grooves, things like that. For the price of this set, I think it's a steal. 40 bucks, almost a no-brainer. Before we get to the jig in this box that I found hiding in Home Depot, this thing's gonna save some people a lot of money from having to buy expensive tools. PowerTec makes one of the better crosscut sleds that I've tested on the channel to date. It has a lot of features packed in at a decent price, and it's dead accurate. This thing is really well made and has a lot of nice features. First thing you do when you unbox it, you got to set up the miter bar. We'll see another jig like this in a little bit, but there's some nylon screws you put in and adjust it to your miter slot. What's also nice about this sled is it comes with some anti-wear strips that go on the bottom of the sled. This helps it glide smoother on your table saw. Now to assemble the crosscut sled, you're going to attach the miter bar with 3 screws to the sled. And then from there, we're going to assemble the fence. And the fence comes with a sacrificial fence that you can bolt to the extruded aluminum fence. You can build your own after this one gets cut up if you wanted to. Because of the way this is made, it has that T-track that runs down the back of that sacrificial fence. There's 3 thumb screws that you use. You can loosen those off and move that fence anywhere you need it to. Then you're just going to set this fence onto the crosscut sled itself. There's a little stub that sticks up. Then you'll use the hardware to attach it to the fence. That's going to let you pivot so you can cut angles. On the opposite end of the fence, there's a T-bolt that slips in from underneath, and it lets it glide along that predetermined route there. And to finish the fence assembly up, it does come with a stop block very similar to what we saw with the miter gauge. Now this crosscut sled will work on a job site saw if you have some support to the left, because it is a little bit left heavy. But if you have a contractor saw or cabinet saw, this is perfect. On the left side of the fence, there is a little set screw that allows you to micro adjust this fence so that it actually gets dialed in perfectly at 0 or 90 degrees. After I dialed this in, I made a 90-degree cut and it was dead on. It's perfect. Can't ask for better than that. Then I went with 2 6-inch pieces. I wanted to see if I could get them exactly the same using the stop block. They are dead on, both of them 6 inches. We tried a 45-degree cut. That was also dead on. This thing is dead accurate after you set it up, which is really nice. A couple of things I really like about this crosscut sled. First is the laminate top. That's a really nice touch. I also love that we have the angle scale on the crosscut sled so we can dial in the exact right degree when we need that. And when I did do the 45 degree, I just set it at 45 and made the cut, and it was perfect. I like having that on there. Also, the numbers are large enough I can see them without glasses, which I normally have close by, so that's a plus. The stop block is also a nice addition, and the fence, the way it just swivels on there, is really nice as well. It's just overall a really well-made crosscut sled if you don't want to build your own. All right, mystery box reveal. No jointer, no problem. We have a jointing and tapering jig from PowerTec that I bought, and I want to try it out. On the surface, it looks pretty good, but I want to see if it's going to work like we want it to. In other words, doing away with an edge jointer so you can do it on your table saw, and also tapering at the same time, or at least with the same jig. First thing we gotta do is insert these 9 nylon screws into this miter bar. Very easy. It even comes with a screwdriver to do it. Takes just a couple of minutes to do that, and you want to kind of set them to where they're just barely sticking out, and then it should help adjust it to the miter slot. What these are for is you can loosen or tighten these to get the exact fit in your miter slot that you need. Next up, we're going to put the handle on this board. I will say, first impressions, just like the PowerTec crosscut sled, This tapering jig is very similar because it has a really nice coating on here, and there's a couple of add-ons that they did go a step above in this jig, in my opinion, that I really like to see. Once you get those nylon screws in the miter bar, put it in your miter slot, and then there's 3 holes on this sled itself to adjust where you want it to sit on your saw. Mine's going in the middle. You can adjust further or closer depending on how close your miter slot is to your blade. From there, you just insert 3 screws. It's going to be attached and you're ready to go. Now you're going to cut it to fit your miter saw. I cut a tiny sliver off, about a 1/2 inch or so off of this one, so that it's zeroed out. It's 0 clearances to your blade, to your saw. After that, they did go a step further here, which I really like. There's a couple of sandpaper, sticky sandpaper strips that you can put on this sled. It's going to help grip the wood that you're cutting so it doesn't move or slide when you clamp it down. I'm glad they included that. It's a nice little touch. All right, there's 2 different ways you can use this sled. One is a tapering jig, and it's very easy to do. This bar will help taper it, and on the back of this bar, there's actually a little cleat if you need it to help grip the wood that you're going to be pushing it through. It's a nice little touch. Just a couple of screws you loosen, move that over, that'll help you push it through. I didn't use it. I didn't see any need for it in this instance, but if you have a tougher piece to cut or something, or maybe more of a sharper angle, you might want to use that. It does come with 2 T-track hold down clamps, and it comes with the handle. The handle obviously we put on earlier, but I do like that it has that handle to help push it through. It's not 100% necessary, but it is a nice to have. This jig also includes 2 scales. I put one on each end. You can stick them on anywhere you want, but on each end makes the best sense. So you can use that to adjust your taper to whatever size taper you want. Now just cutting the taper went very smoothly, very easy. Cut a taper like a taper should. It's not a whole lot to say about that, but if you need a tapering jig, this is a solid one. Now where I think this really shines is as a jointing jig. Now with this bar on there, this tapering bar, I feel like it doesn't give you enough width to do some boards as far as jointing with or edge jointing. So what's really nice is you can just remove that and put the clamps on either end like I did here. I want to edge joint this live edge piece of walnut. Went through there really nice. And what's really great about this, I can take it off the jig now, flip it over, run it through the saw again. Now I have 2 parallel edges. This board is jointed on both sides. So now we got 2 parallel edges. So if you're building cutting boards or tabletops, panels, that sort of thing, gluing up multiple boards together, you don't have to have a jointer. You can just use your table saw and this jig, which I think is great. If you like this type of video, hit that subscribe button and let me know. It really does help out. If you'd like to check out any of these tools, remember I linked them in the description, the pinned comment, and you can scan the QR code. If you'd like to check out some other cool jigs for woodworking, you got to check out that video right there. Click in that box, get you the big old virtual fist bump. Seriously, 5 jigs most people don't know about.